So you had Danny Ramirez, Harrison Ford, Anthony Mackie
Legend.
walk up into the room, and bro, I was in absolute aura. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Looking
Bro,
Harrison
Harrison
Ford dead in,
Ford. That's what I'm saying, man. Indiana Jones himself.
everybody was like, "Man, how did you do that with the coat?" And I was like, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I was gonna say, bro. I was looking at, I was like, man, this guy's still got it, bro.
And you just feel like, Superman. Like I'm actually literally gliding in the air.
What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out Podcast. Us brothers are back with another exciting episode. A lot of stuff been going on. Before we get straight into it, guys, if you haven't already, please do like, share, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. On that note, let's get straight into it. Let's geek out. Kibla had some amazing experiences this week. Let's start off with Captain America: Brave New World. You were at the UK premiere yesterday. Tell us about it, man. Tell us about, because I've seen images and stuff, but and if you follow the socials, you've seen some images, but a day experience of this movie. You saw legends, you flew, you saw a bit of the movie. Tell us everything, bro. We'll get into some other stuff of the movie later. Now, how was the day?
No, listen, massive shout outs to Marvel, but massive shout outs to Geek House Show. He was the one that gave me the invite as well, but it was massive shout outs to the guys at Marvel, man. What a fun filled day. Like I can't believe like how much they pack in. So this is similar to what they did with Deadpool and Wolverine. They give you a 30-minute presentation with the cast and crew there to kind of present it and then talk about it. But they did a little Q and so basically started off the day, go to the hotel, meet up with them, and then go to the hotel that they're going to be in where they do a little press conference. So they gave breakfast. We did like a little photo call, which I just couldn't resist. And, they got a big Hulk with holding the cap shield coming out of the ground in Trafalgar Square. I couldn't resist. They had this video cam thing. I was like, what am I going to do? Bare people posing. I was like, just do the spin kick, man. Did the spin kick, which came out. Usually sometimes you think you do a spin kick, that the back leg could slip and you could just fall on your back. I've been waiting for that moment to happen at any of the ones I've been doing, but I said that let me give it a go. I still got good balance anyway, so I did it. Everybody was like, "Man, how did you do that with the coat?" And I was like, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I was gonna say, bro. I was looking at, I was like, man, this guy's still got it, bro. I can't, even though I train martial arts or whatnot, I can't throw a spinning kick as smooth as you. You got the flamboyant technique down. Pull it that way.
Yeah, bro, that was Jean-Claude Van Damme, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Show me the ways. Show me the way. Somebody was like, "Bro, how you do that with the overcoat as well?" And I was like, "Bro, one of those ones, bro. One of those ones."
What you call it, man? Hard
Hard
target, bro. Hard
target.
target. Yeah. And those
uh,
jeans. You wore jeans and stuff as well.
yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. I think I've realized now, like, before we used to wear the sag down jeans back in the
Yeah.
days and the
And
baggy
trying to
jeans.
do a
You
spinning
couldn't do.
kick with
Could you
that.
imagine trying to do a spin kick with that and mess up your leg and ting? You
Man.
can't do that. But excitement. Anyway, listen. Met some great people there as well. It's always nice to meet. Again, it's networking as well. So Maria, she's like a model, hijabi model, and writer as well. She did one of the first campaigns with Nike with the hijab. Uh, so very, very, big. She's big in that kind of fashion industry, but she does movies as well. Hoping to get her on a podcast to talk about it because she loves everything Marvel as well. And then, we go back to the hotel to uh, do this press conference, which is interesting because this is an influence. They called it the influencer press conference. So uh, it's the actual influencers that are in the room that ask the questions basically to the cast and crew. So you had Danny Ramirez, Harrison Ford, Anthony Mackie
Legend.
walk up into the room, and bro, I was in absolute aura. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Looking
Bro,
Harrison
Harrison
Ford dead in.
Ford. That's what I'm saying, man. Indiana Jones himself, like Luke as well. Han Solo himself. I mean, that is epic. And you had looked
Deckard,
like you
bro,
had a front
Deckard.
seat or something.
Yeah, I sent a picture to Sasa and I was like, look, man, I'm in the room with Deckard, man, from Blade Runner. And he was so tired. He was like, who's Deckard? I was like, come on, Sasa. Then I sent the picture to Dad as well, which was funny. But amazing experience. Geek House show got to asked one of the questions about Red Hope to Harrison Ford, and just to be in that room because Harrison Ford is like he's got this charming yet so kind of upfrontness about him. Like if he doesn't understand something, he'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like I just started in this MCU, you know what I mean? But he still loves the movie experience. Like he was like, "Man, I'm in my 80s and I'm still making movies. This is insane." You know what I mean? Anthony Mackie, very, very charismatic, very I hope we get the photo where he stood next there was a photo of all three of them with us. I hope they send that photo because there was one point everybody was in the middle and then he kind of came right next to me and he had his hand over my shoulder and then I was like,
yes.
"Oh, we're gonna get
Any
the
touching
photo,"
you.
and then he went back in the middle and I was like, "Oh, I hope they send the other photo." But anyway, good on him. Very charismatic, bro. Very cool. And then they drove us down to O2 Cineworld in London, Greenwich. We got to see like a 30-minute presentation, which was very. I can't say nothing
Can't say
until I
that. But
see the screening.
was it like Deadpool Wolverine, like the first 30 minutes, or was it
This one was
okay?
different. So that's all I can say. This was different. But listen, hopefully, inshallah, we get the screening next week, I think, or the week after. We'll let you know my thoughts on there. All I can say is that I watched 30 minutes of the film. That's all I can say.
Okay, cool. Yeah, hopefully you get the screening. Hopefully I get the screening. I'm gonna need you to email that lady again to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
if she
we'll
can
find out
respond.
and then we'll go from there.
But
And
okay, you
then
can't say nothing. Like, because Deadpool movie, when we watched that 30 minutes, we were allowed to express our feelings. Like, are you allowed, like, are you able to share anything, or you don't want to give away anything?
it just says in the NDA we're allowed to only say we've watched 30 minutes.
Okay. But let's not say nothing about
There's
that.
something that
All right.
happened in the trailer though we could talk about,
Okay.
like the recent trailer. I don't know if you've seen it, but I don't think they should have shown that.
Okay, maybe not. Listen, I haven't seen trailers except the first ones. I'm kind of staying away
Oh, right.
just in
Good,
case
good,
they
good, good.
spoil
All
it.
right. Okay. They did something in there. All right. Cool. All right. We'll continue from there. And then after that, they did the flying experience, which
Yeah.
I gotta say was fucking amazing, bro. Like, I can't believe how much fucking excitement I had in that moment. Like, you know, you basically you go in there, it's like the air that pushes up, and then you get to glide, uh, and you just feel like, Superman. Like, I'm actually literally gliding in the air. So the
Do
first
you
time you go in there, you
feel
get used to it.
do
Bro,
you
it's
feel like
all up in your face. You could snap your neck, bro. If you don't keep your neck up, like
yeah.
there's like you have to keep in a certain maneuver. You snap
Yeah,
your
I
neck,
saw
bro. Good night.
yeah.
So you have to be in a certain maneuver. But then you got the guy there to keep you safe. If you're not a pro, he'll keep you safe. He will keep you. They have like hand gestures that you have to kind of go to. Like if you bend your legs, then you'll go up higher. Keep your legs out straight, and it'll keep you like floating. Remember, the baggy suit kind of gives you that resistance. Uh, but for a moment, bro, I kind of flew. Like he lets go of you, and you kind of just fly, and you're like, "What a feeling, bro!" And you can imagine, like, he went like on the second time round, he goes up higher. So you go around in a circle, and you go up higher, and you're like, "Holy shit!" And then he comes all the way down, and you're like, "Fuck!" That was exciting, bro.
It
Marvel,
looked good.
Marvel,
I've seen
hey,
that stuff
making me feel
before.
like Falcon, Captain America. I mean, uh,
They
Superman.
got a lot of those in Dubai. I mean, I wondered if I should ever try it. I was just like, leave it. Is it
Give
worth
it a
like
go, bro. It's like it's a whole different feeling because for a moment, when he lets go of you and you're kind of just floating, you could just kind of imagine yourself like going
because
away.
I would never do skydiving. I allow it. I'm not
I
into
would
it.
do it. I would do it.
I'm
I
not
will do
even
it.
looking to face any fears about that. I'm cool not doing that in my lifetime, right? But that, I mean, I could possibly maybe think about doing, man, because it looked awesome. And you're pretty good. Like you had your posture and everything sorted, and you weren't
Yeah.
going all over. Because I've seen bare people go all over the place, and so I've
No,
seen
bro.
that
There,
stuff
there,
before.
there was one person losing, bro. But I think they didn't watch a training video. Like, there's a 7-minute training video you gotta watch because at the end of the day, I don't want to dislocate my shoulder, bro. I want to be able to pick up my kids. Yes, I've got degenerative disc disease, but it's not like unless the wind is so powerful, it's gonna snap me backwards. There's technique to it. You got to have a strong. Can you imagine that? Good night. Just floating in the air, just bottom
Just
loose.
in a V shape.
Uh, like you gotta have like some of the guys like the way they float in there, bro, like proper pros, bro. Like he was going around in circles and the rest of it. But there was a couple people that lose. Oh, my shoulders are hurting. But you're like,
Wow.
that's why they give you that 7 minute video because you still have to hold your core in, bro.
Mm.
You have to hold your core in. You've got to keep that tense because you could dislocate an arm if you don't have that straight kind of like posture to it, and then even like letting the wind through your hands, bro. You good night, like
Mm.
go back with both arms. So it's really important.
Do you know what it reminds me of something? I don't know if you remember, man. Harry Enfield. Was it Harry Enfield? There was a skit. Do you remember he was a comedian in the UK? Do you
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that? Yeah. There was a skit. I remember he was trying to clean automatic doors. Do you remember that one? And then he couldn't because the doors kept open, so he jumped on it, and then it ripped him apart. It just reminded me of that skit. It's from when we were
Harriet
kids.
Enfield, bro. Oh my god, he was the best, bro. He had his best friend. Remember that big best friend he had?
Yeah,
They did a little thing, and there was one where they were garbage men, and they were throwing
yeah.
like the bin, and then he kicked he kicked the dog shit, and the other guy headed it into the fucking garbage.
Yes, that was a good scene. Yes, oh my God, it came
But
in as
then the
soon as he
other
was
one,
like,
remember the bums, and they're trying to get some money to go wash the guy's car window, and he was like, and he was whacking it.
I
Harriet
meant to go
Enfield,
back
man.
and watch those. They were actually hilarious. But anyway, that thought came back into
Yes.
mind. But yeah, yeah. I mean, it looked good. Like I said, I've seen clips and stuff of people losing and whatnot. But you look like you had good posture and able to sort it out. Which so what a great experience. I mean, not even like because when we went Deadpool Wolverine, again, that was an
Yeah.
experience. That was like a live concert and all that sort of stuff. But to get to do that, the flying and and the shots that you took in Leicester Square. I think it was Leicester Square, right? Was it Leicester
Yeah, yeah,
Square?
yeah.
All
Yeah.
of that. That's
No, no,
pretty
Trafalgar
amazing.
Square. Sorry, Trafalgar
Trafalgar
Square.
Square. And then the fact that they changed it, rather than giving you first 30 minutes, they gave you something else, which is interesting. Maybe because Deadpool Wolverine's maybe because Deadpool Wolverine 30 minutes like set a tone. And maybe this movie is not really, I don't know, I'm just assuming right now. The first 30 minutes is not about geeking out and cameos and all this sort of stuff. Maybe there's a story to set a tone of rather than just showing fun stuff, which was what Deadpool 3 was about. I don't know. I'm interested. Listen, man, to get into it a little bit, I'm
Listen,
interested in seeing this because this movie, we spoke about it. Not it's getting boycotted. But let's be real.
yeah,
We
yeah,
talk about it,
yeah,
and,
it's getting
and
boycotted.
people can call us hypocrites and stuff like that. And I can't. You can't even argue against it, right? It's getting
No, no,
boycotted a
hundred
lot.
percent,
Yeah,
hundred
like
percent, 100%.
because of they decided to pick they decided to introduce the Israeli superhero, can't remember her name, Sabah or something like that. And
Saba or something,
obviously,
yeah.
yeah, that's very controversial with the world and all that stuff, especially now. And then what they tried to get rid of her and make her a Black Widow, but still they ended up picking, and I think she was an IDF soldier, which again, 100% against all of that shit. So I 100% agree with the boycott, but also it's getting boycott for another reason that I keep reading about. It's that they're calling it the woke Captain America. And I'm seeing loads of shit, people saying it's a woke Captain America, it's another woke Disney movie and all that sort of stuff. And it's just kind of like, well, like, and I've seen other comments saying that it's not, like, it's not that.
You know
But
what? I'm gonna jump in for Anthony Mackie, yeah? Not Christopher, sorry, Chris Evans said the same quote
mhm,
about what Captain America is. So it's traits, yeah?
yeah,
Honor, uh, bravery, courage, being a good man. That's why Stanley's character said, "I don't want the square-chinned American brute, guy. I want the good man. I want the
I
good
mean,
man
they
to have
still
the
ended
suit."
up with the square chin American Dream.
Well,
But
yeah, I
yes,
mean,
the
he grew
heart,
into a square chin,
yeah.
big American, but he didn't represent like. Yes, they used him as propaganda as an American thing, but his values, bro, it wasn't American. He wanted the values of people to be like this in America.
A good human
Like, what I
being,
mean? That's
yeah.
what a good human being. And I think that's what Anthony Mackie reiterated recently in an interview. That's why they were so strict on this press tour that the questions you ask are simply about the movie. Don't ask about what it means and blah, blah. Like, they screened all of the questions, bro. So, like, he said exactly what Chris Evans said back when he was Cap about what it represents and what it is to be a human being, a good human being. And I think people take it out of context because of patriotic bullshit.
Yeah,
But people are not good human beings. When you're segregating everybody and not being one, that's where the problem lays. If you could
yeah.
keep it as one, we're gonna work fucking great together. And I've seen that with our friendships that we have with people. Because we do not see, oh, he's black, he's Bengali, he's Turkish, he's English, he's Somalian. We don't see that, bro. We've never seen that. We weren't brought up that way. We've seen everybody exactly the same. We just treat each other exactly the same. The problem is that shit is taught. Once that shit is drilled into your head, that's it, man. You're not a good human being no more. If you was, you'd care for things so much more differently. But people are not like that. So, and
I
people are quick to
agree.
jump out of context shit, bros.
Yeah,
And that's the
I
problem
saw
because
that.
people don't really see what it is in the comic books as well. Because you see him in the comic books, even Cap, regardless of Sam or fucking Steve Rogers, they just want to be a good person. They just want to do the right thing. It's not about the whole world and what the country wants. It's about what I want as a human being and what I want to do as a good person. And people don't see that. People put America next to it, changes the whole
That's,
concept.
well, look, I mean, it's tough because listen, his name is Captain America, right? At the time, right, they were in World War II and all this sort of stuff. I get it, but yeah, that Chris Evans said the same exact. I read the article a little bit as well. And he said the same thing. Like, I would like to take the America out of it and just kind of put the values as a human being
Yeah,
behind it. I mean,
exactly.
and Anthony, it's a shame that because we're in this day and age now. And Disney's kind of done it to themselves, unfortunately, as well in the last couple of years. So immediately people like, one, because he's Anthony Mackie and his skin tone is different, obviously, they're going to pick on it. And two, because Disney's gone through this whole woke, they really did it. It's unfair because people are using that. It's like, oh, they turned it woke again. It's like, no, like they haven't. Just ignore what
Yeah,
happened. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've said this so many times, bro. What makes Captain America the cat so great is I can relate to it. I'm not a 6 foot tall, white, blonde hair, superhero physique type of dude, but his values, who he is as a human being, is who I can relate to. When they had the whole Cap versus Iron Man thing, I was always Team Cap because I related to his values more than I did Iron Man. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, because
yeah.
of his values as a human being, it's a shame that I have a bad feeling that the movie will get boycotted from many angles. Many angles is what we talk about, but it's not going to be as successful, and they're not going to. The world's not going to accept Anthony Mackie as Captain America, just like how the Winter Soldier, Captain America and Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier show was expressed in just how I don't know how this movie will kind of express it as well, but it's happening in real life, like even in the movie in real life because of color and stuff like that. And end of the day, like it's a shame. And he's just exactly saying the same words as Chris Evans, but the world doesn't see that. The world just sees a black man saying that, and they're like, oh, he's unpatriotic. It's like, no, Captain America, especially in the movies, has clearly shown that he's a hero of the world. Like he cares for everyone in the world. He didn't
Mm.
care. He cared a lot when those people died in Nigeria. It was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like he cared for them. He cared for. That's what I'm trying to say. People, it's unfortunate, man, where you could just take the values out of it, man.
Because people are not taught those values, bro. We don't live in a society where values are taught no more. And I think social media has changed that a lot as well because uh, it's just it's taught, bro. And
I mean,
separatism is taught.
look at
Separatism is
some.
taught.
Yeah, but I mean, look. That's what I'm saying. Look at some of the most influential people in the world. Like, look. Let's Elon Musk. Look at him. All of a sudden, right? My guy says something about before. I didn't know. Before I kind of admired him. I did, right?
Mm.
I even actually used to think like he was like Tony Stark and whatnot. Now I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
he's
yeah.
Lex Luthor. Now I think he's Lex. I used to think he was
Oh,
like the philanthropist, whatever, billionaire good guy, right? Now I think he's Lex Luthor. He's a billionaire villain, right? Because my
yes.
guy, he says something about Jews, I think once, gets into a lot of trouble, whatnot, goes to Israel, comes back, and my guy is like anti-Islam after he came back from Israel. Like it's like they have something on him. for example. I don't know. I feel like they have something on. They
No, they do.
put
They
him
do.
there.
It's a
They
big
gave
plot,
him a
bro. It's a
little
plot.
young girl to flatter him. He probably done the thing. They recorded him. They're like, now we got you, bitch, right? And all of a sudden, the most influential guy, one of the most influential guys with the most reach, and he owns a freaking social media platform, X, and he's just tweeting bad things about Islam, constant bad things like Muslim groomers, this and that. Just a race. He's become a racist piece of shit, right? And that's coming from him, and let alone so many of the other ones in the world and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, listen, you're getting it from the top down, like one of the most richest pricks in the world. I can't stand him now. I think he's a racist piece of shit. He has no values himself. You know what I mean?
No,
And
no,
he's
that's
just
it.
influencing
Exactly.
all these other people. You know what I mean? So it's taught not even as when you're a child from your parents. It's taught from fucking world leaders. It's taught from fucking the richest people on the planet. They're disgusting. So of course people are gonna feel like that towards minorities, man. If you at the end of the day, I mean, this guy, like, it's so blatant that racism and classism still exist, and they're still trying to make sure everyone holds those racism values. Oh, they're Muslims. Oh, they're black people. Oh, they're Mexicans. Kick them out. Or they're illegal immigrants. All this sort of stuff. Okay, cool. It was still on this, racism. And again, I feel sorry for general white people who just, man, I just want to live my life. Like, fuck my ancestors. Right? Fuck my auntie, what they did. I'm sorry for them. Wasn't involved, but I just want to live my life. But then you got these rich billionaire, influential people in charge and whatnot who are still, unfortunately, even keeping, the young white brother and sister in a position where they're like, fuck, man, like, stop talking for all of us, because they do. That's
what I'm saying.
They do speak, and they're like, no, you don't speak for us. Stop putting that shit out there. Stop putting that rubbish out there. So this movie, I think it brings a lot of controversy with it, and it brings it, and it clearly would display it in the movie and in real life, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
I know. It'd be interesting, and when it's a February movie and it's not a summer movie, there's something there. There's something brewing. They just want to get it out there as quick as possible, even though it had loads of delays, a lot of reshoots. Let's see what happens. But listen, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm still excited. People call me hypocrite and the rest of it. Listen, this is the stuff I love. I don't agree with a lot of the things with it, but anyway, hypocrite Kibs, isn't it?
Listen, I won't even argue against it as well. If someone
Exactly,
I would say, you know what, you have all the rights to call us a hypocrite in this case. I won't.
yeah, exactly.
I'm all about the boycott movement. I preach it. We talk about it here so much. So I've got no excuses. I'm trying to say, like, I don't subscribe to Disney Plus. I'm straight. I don't subscribe to Disney Plus anymore, right? We did before, or you did before, I didn't. I don't subscribe to that. I don't, I'm trying to get screeners, so I don't pay towards the movie, but I still would want to watch the movie just because I'm a fan. I just don't want to pay for it. Does that make sense? I don't want to pay for it. And that's why I want the screener and whatnot. But yeah, listen, on the Marvel, and Captain America, right? So Chris Evans recently came out and made a comment saying that, what did he say? He goes, Chris Evans denies returning to the MCU for Avengers Doomsday. I'm happily retired. So this is interesting because there was like almost, I swear it was factual news that he's back. So I don't know.
Everybody said it.
Exactly. And I think Marvel even announced it. Like, it was a proper announcement. I'm on Hollywood Reporter, and I think everyone's saying, like, this wouldn't be the first time an actor has lied about not making a grand superhero return. Remember on Andrew Garfield's surprise appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. So, people are saying that. I mean, Evans recently told Esquire magazine as part of a cover story on Anthony Mackie. That's not true, though. This always happens. I mean, it happened every couple of years. Ever since Endgames, I just stopped responding to it. Yeah, happily retired. So, you never know. He could be tricking us. I would say the truth of the matter is, bro, I would say all these secrets, even RDJ should have kept it a secret. You should have had that moment that you've been building in the cinema where everyone's like, oh my God, holy shit, blah, blah, blah. Because what you notice is, like, for example, RDJ coming back, immediately there was a moistness, and immediately, the controversy, Marvel's panicking, they bring it. No, why don't you just show the movie RDJ shows himself as Doctor Doom, and you're watching the movie, you're watching the perspective, you're watching the story. So there isn't no criticism of like Marvel's panicking, they just done this as a panic move or blah blah blah. It's all about, oh shit, they smashed it, they put a great story together, whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like they should have kept it a secret. Maybe Chris Evans is playing us, but I feel like, you know, Avengers Doom Days is going to be a big one, and they're going to bring as much people back as possible. But hey, I have to say, I'm looking forward to getting this, hopefully the screener, fingers crossed for this one. And I'm happy that we got Angry Hulk back. That's one of my biggest criticisms. You know, Hulk's one of my favorite characters, and I'm happy that we got an Angry Hulk back. And hopefully we'll see what happens more with this, man.
No, definitely excited, bro. Cool.
Cool. Should we move on to the next screener that you got, which was a week before? Bullheaded Flight Risk, Mark Wahlberg. How you done a funny you done a funny little skit, and then you gave your review on this movie. What was that movie? I just seen pictures of Mark Wahlberg with his hair, and it does look off. I don't know why he had to have a bar lead. Does it in the movie? Does it explain why he had them? His face
just
doesn't
like
suit
psycho killer Mark Wahlberg talking some nasty shit, trying to, I'm gonna have some fun with this. I'm gonna have fun. I'm like, you know, every time he battered somebody or beat somebody on the plane, it's basically about a U.S. Marshal protecting a witness to talk about some gangster, and somehow Mark Wahlberg is this psycho killer that replaces the actual pilot so he can kill these two, so the gangsters get away. So this guy don't testify in court. And listen, Mel Gibson directed it. There are some good moments in this movie, but it's just predictable. It's Mark Wahlberg's. I think he did too much for the character, but it's not a cinema movie. Sorry to say, it's not a cinema movie. I would have been happy if I didn't go to that screening. I should have said, you know, leave it. So it's one of those things where I want to be a bit more smart. I could have done that at home. So, but because it was Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson, I went, and that's the honest truth. I will support artist work when I hear it, but sometimes the artist's work could lose. Sometimes it's sometimes it's a good, and sometimes it's a shit. That's a TV movie, basically. You know when they make TV movies, like, you know, Knight Rider 2000. That's a TV movie. It's like that. That's what it should have been, a TV movie. Like, wait till it comes out on ITV 7 years later. It shouldn't have been a super.
That's the thing when you build listen, not everything's going to be amazing, right? And when you build a fan base, as we are fans of Mel Gibson and Mark Wahlberg, of course you want to check it out. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many movies, and we've watched a couple of things. I'll talk about them later on. But there's so many movies you watch because you're a fan of a certain individual, and you're like, okay,
exactly,
cool, this should be. And you know, it's hard because you naturally set an expectation in your head based on all the work they've done before. And then when it's not as good, you're like, that was basic. Sometimes as well, we get lost in the fandom and be like, oh, that movie was great. Like, but because you're a fan, but then sometimes you have to step back and be like, cool, still love the actor, still love the work. The movie wasn't great. I can say that. I'm trying to say, but we do that all the time with Marvel and DC. When I look back at a lot of the DC movies, you're like, man, we came out moist. Like, oh my God, that movie was amazing. And then a week or two, a month later, we're like, well, that movie was basic, man. Like, we get excited. But you go.
I think excitement does take over quite a lot. And I think last year has taught me to dial back a bit. And I like the way everything's structured now. And I think we could be, somebody said we are the new age critics now. So if we're going to be critical about things, then it's about, you know, don't get me wrong. I think Mel Gibson had some really cool moments, like the way he directed it in that movie. But there are some things in it. It's like how, like, why, what happened?
Well, I think the one thing that we would never do is say, don't watch the movie. Whatever you do, don't. And we never like try to shit all over it. We'll just be like, it's not for us. You know what I mean? This is our opinion type of thing. But we'll never encourage anyone not to watch something or whatever. Like, I think that's just silly. And also remember, it's just our opinion. Like you might like it. You know what I mean? I still like Kevin Smith's philosophy. Like life's young. Life's too, sorry,
Yeah,
life's too short. I'm not gonna
life's too
sit
short.
here spending my time shitting all over a movie or whatnot. I might give my
No,
opinion on
bro.
it, or I might not even say it. If I don't like the movie, I might not even talk about it. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, you know, we've got a right to
Listen, it's
kind of express
fine.
it.
Like it is. It you could enjoy it. You could watch it and find it funny. There was moments because he's like he actually got somebody to shave his head like that. I found it funny, and he was like this freaky, like kinky kind of guy. Like, I'm gonna tease you. I'm gonna have fun, like stuff like that. But it's just not his usual role because even though he's got that kind of smart, I think Mark Wahlberg's got a really smart mouth and he can improvise very well. He'll make you laugh. Where in this one, it was like, man, you one creepy dude, man, but you're taking your creepiness to a next level, bro. Uh, I would say watch it once it comes out on streaming. Watch it, bro. Give it a go and kind of go from there. And then we could do like like just tell me your thoughts after you've seen it. That's
Yeah,
all.
definitely, definitely. I'll check it out. I'll check it out because I'm a fan of those two guys. All right. Well, something else exciting came out this week. A little TV spot for Superman. And what
Ooh,
was new
yes,
about it was his flight experience. I think
yeah,
that TV spot was purely to just show a little flight experience. And now,
yeah,
listen, like first of all, to me it looked awesome, right? And it showed what I found out of it because Superman's like I know there was a bit like with the Snyderverse. I loved Henry Cavill's variation of it, but
yeah,
Superman's always been like this red, white, and blue bright character, right? Hope and all
yeah,
that sort of
yeah.
stuff. And he's like almost like having fun with things as well. And in this trailer, like or this little spot, what it kind of shows is like when he's flying, he's having fun. Right? If you notice in
Yeah,
the trailer, he flew between. He has all this space on the right, but he flew in between side because he was just like flying. He was enjoying it and whatnot, right?
yeah, yeah.
And I'm hoping that this movie brings back a bit of bright light to Superman. Not saying that Snyderverse one wasn't bright light and whatnot, but just a bit more brightness and joyness to him. However, there's a lot of shit going around with the visuals. I don't know if you saw his eyes this way and that way and whatnot. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just like the one moment that they captured on the
I think
camera
because
or
he's using a wide angle, he tried to explain it. James jumped on and tried to explain it. And listen, I love that scene. I don't look into the details. I'm seeing Superman back on the big screen again, so I'm excited. But once you start nitpicking on the smallest amount, you don't have no experience in movie making or even drawing, it's quite difficult. He did try and explain himself, but I think he just put himself more in trouble because he used a wide lens. And you know when you use fisheye lenses, because what he was trying to replicate is how Superman looks in the comic books when he's flying. You know, the chest out big, the cape flying,
mm,
and the hands in the back. That's what he was trying to replicate. But the camera is gonna bend the person's face in the process. So he's good with his visuals. So we're gonna get some great visuals. But people, bro, people are easy to quick to be negative than positive. That's the
it's
harsh thing about it.
I
Like
mean
if
I
it was
mean
like really out of place, I don't know, but the more you look at it, of course you're gonna be like, oh shit, my eyes are separating too.
yeah, I mean I when I first saw it, like I had joy in me, right? Because I was like, that looks amazing. I mean, even though you've seen
Yeah,
Superman fly so many times, it just looked amazing. I did notice, you know, just the big face and whatnot, and you have a little note, but I'm like, I'm gonna ignore that, like because it's just one little scene. I mean, how much flying scene, how much action scenes are we gonna get in this movie, which I could just
exactly.
assume is gonna be amazing, especially coming from James Gunn and what he's done before. I'm just and the technology that we have these days. I'm just assuming the rest of it's gonna be amazing. So I'm not gonna unless the whole movie you watch it and his eyes are like that way, then you're like, okay, well, what happened there? But I don't think that's the case. But listen, you never know. James, he
Yeah,
loves to get involved. He might, you know, I'm pretty sure he takes feedback well. Maybe he might go, guys, we need to reshoot that scene or fix that up because I don't, you know what I mean? You never know.
yeah,
Because look, any criticism, even though it's harsh, that's unfortunate when you put it out online, you're going to get harsh criticism rather than constructive
exactly,
criticism.
bro. Nothing
And
positive is gonna come out of that.
how you take that is a testament to your character as well. And I'm pretty sure James Gunn's got a good character in him, and he's gonna be like, cool. Well, thanks for that feedback. I can explain myself. I maybe decide to fix it, or I'm not. Here's my explanation. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like he's responding to every single one and saying fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you 6 times. Like he's like explaining it, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, that's it looks cool though. I can't wait for that movie.
Listen, I'm super excited for it, without a doubt. I am super excited for it. I think we're gonna get a great movie here. I think uh people just, and this is just me, this is my opinion. Just shut the fuck up. Drink a salam cola and shut the fuck up. Sorry, that shit sounds wrong. I can't say Coke because they're part of that madness. So drink some Garza cola and shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's so much to it, bro. So much to it. I think uh yeah, people and the thing is, I think there's a lot of creators that actually are in the industry that do stuff like that, but still wanna question it. People have lost the mystery of just enjoying stuff, bro. People have lost the mystery, honestly, just to enjoy watching something. And once you lost that movie magic, that does take away a lot from films. Because think about back in the day, if we were getting reviews on films like Back to the Future and Commando and Rambo and stuff like that, it does ruin people's experiences, right? But because we
Yeah.
didn't have that, those movies are cult classics for us. They are the staple of what we love about Hollywood and Hong Kong cinema, because people will rip the shit out of what John Woo did in The Killer. People will rip the shit out of Labyrinth, the original one with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. You know what I mean? And those movies like mean so much to me because I think that is like movie magic in its best moments. But people have genuinely, and the thing is, we're all critics now, bro.
This is why I don't like that word. I don't like to be called a critic because I'm
And I hate that. Same thing. But for people, we will be seen as critics, and I don't want to be that guy. I don't want ever.
because
I don't
I'm
want to
not
be. Yeah.
I'm not an expert. I'm a fan. Regardless of what people, I'm not an expert on any of these things. Making movies, I can't even draw. You know, maybe the only thing I might be able to comment on, but I always enjoy is like martial arts. You know, because I made certain comments on Cobra Kai, for example, and the martial arts and that just because Cobra
Yeah.
Kai is something. But I don't criticize it and whatnot in a way to be like, it's not real technique. I could just make a comment, say, look, I don't think that person trains because I don't see them,
Yeah.
turn in the hips as much when they're throwing a kick or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in making movies, which is why I'll never sit here and like say shit on a project. Like I can dislike it and say why I didn't like it. And I got some thoughts about some movies I've watched, I'll talk about in a bit. But I never would say they don't know what they're doing, they done this wrong and they done that wrong, and the director doesn't know. It's like, this is what I felt about it. You know what I mean? And maybe the director saw a different vision, or maybe the director will hear certain criticisms and make a improvements in the future. Or maybe they'll never hear my opinion of it because at the end
Exactly.
of the day, they might see other people's shit. But I will never do that. I'm not that guy. I'm not an expert in movie making.
Yeah. No,
Um,
definitely, bro. I mean, listen, I enjoyed it for what it is, bro. So I'll, yeah, just that's the experience. It's about enjoying it, and I think people have forgotten to do that.
so well, let's wait till the movie comes out and we shall enjoy it regardless. Moving on, bro. Moving on. Just a quick one. Just some confirmation of Super Bowl trailers that are coming out. The Super Bowl happens. When does that happen? Super Bowl happens. Is it in March? I think it is.
I
I
think
can't
it's in
remember.
March. Yeah.
I don't watch football, but just little heads up on some of the trailers that we're looking forward to that are coming out. We got Thunderbolts, Fantastic
Hmm.
Four. We're gonna get first look at that.
Oof.
How to
Exciting.
Train Your Dragon teaser, Jurassic World, Rebirth. I think there's going to be one for Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning. Looks
Yes.
like Paramount's doing like a Smurfs reboot.
Nice.
Lilo and Stitch, I'm seeing here. So many trailers to come out. I think obviously I'm looking forward mostly to seeing what you call it, Fantastic Four more than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Same,
So
man.
that's going to be a good glimpse. But just wanted to kind of put that out there. Something to look forward to, some of those trailers, because it is a good time for trailers. It's going to be one of those ones where you're like, trailer reaction, trailer reaction.
Oh yeah, it will be. It will be definitely.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're
Definitely.
going to see more Superman, maybe and stuff like that. So
I wouldn't be surprised. They got to get that involved in the market, and I think they're going to have a massive push on that, definitely, without a doubt.
definitely, definitely. All right, let's brush through some other news. All right, so we got some stuff coming out. The hit Korean boxing drama Bloodhounds is back for an action season 2. I don't know if you saw season 1. I don't think you did. But it was actually a great Korean show. Obviously, the missus is super into Korean drama. And then she was like, I think you enjoy this because it's about 2 boxers. And it was actually really awesome. Like basically 2 boxers who served in the military and whatnot. And they're just trying to, in their town, in where they live, they're just trying to, there's some crime syndicate organization going there. And they just kind of take it into their own hands. Almost like vigilantes to kind of what you call it, man, take down these crime syndicate and whatnot. So, but the martial, like the boxing abilities and the story behind it was pretty awesome. So season 2 coming out this year, but it's definitely confirmed, which is great. Another thing that's confirmed after like years of back and forth is Gremlins 3. So I'm on.
So they're going to do it's not going to be a reboot then. It's just going to be a number 3. Okay.
It's going to be a number 3. So Gremlins gets a reassuring update. Gremlins 3 has received a reassuring update despite being in development for over 8 years. With the original writer was attached to the sequel in 2017. It was announced a potential Gremlins 3 script had been written by Chris Columbus, who penned the screenplay for the 1984 original. Since then, the movie hasn't got any concrete updates aside from confirmation by Columbus in 2020 that the creature puppets would be used instead of CGI. The latest release from the franchise's Max Animation Gremlin series aimed at a younger audience and serves as a prequel in the original. So I haven't seen that animated series, but the fact that the original writer, Chris Columbus, is coming back, and the fact that he's already said that we're going to use creature puppets just like the original one rather than CGI, I think already kind of like gives you a better feeling about a remake to this. Oh, not a remake, but a part 3. And also I think a part 3 is good when you got the originals coming back, like original cast members. I don't know about the cast members, but original creators. Because when you make
exactly.
It's a difficult one. When you make a remake, it's tough because people are always going to compare it, right? But when it's the original creators coming back for a remake, it could be hit and miss. We saw that with John Woo's Killer, right? It was John Woo, but you know. But when you make a part 3, how do I explain it, man? Like it's still risky, but at least you're not saying it's a remake. At least you're not saying, forget about the old ones, we're making the new one, guys. It's like, no. This is continuation. And I think a continuation always works, in my opinion, better than a remake. Allow the remakes, do continuations. Because remakes is almost sending a little message to the original fans. I know you love that one. Forget about that. We got a new one for you. Whereas a part 3 is like, hey guys, we're giving you more of what you had, just more story of that. So I think it's a better take than a remake, in my opinion.
No, 100%, bro, 100%. Like, it's got to be one that we've got to be careful on how they do that. Definitely got to be careful on how they do that. And as you said, like the prime example was what they did with Killer. So definitely, I'm happy to hear that they're going to continue it. I think that would be better, and see how it goes from there.
Definitely. All right, cool. Moving on. Star Wars, shocker. Ryan Gosling in talks to star in Shaun Levy's movie. So this is on the Hollywood Reporter. If the deal makes, this would send the project into hyperdrive after 2 years of development and making it the next Star Wars movie going into production. So what's he saying? Mr. Ryan Gosling to be in the Star Wars universe, possibly, man. So
interesting.
Very interesting. I don't know if you'll play a Jedi. I mean, you've seen his tone of acting and whatnot. He's very calm, right? Suits the Jedi sort of vibe. And you know, with Mr. Levy coming back to do the movie, Shaun Levy, like, I mean, look, I'm just judging it off Deadpool Wolverine and the other one he made with Ryan Reynolds. I'm pretty sure there's so much more out there in his catalog and whatnot. I wonder what kind of
Shaun
tone
Levy, he's done Stranger Things as well, bro.
Holy shit. Okay, so I mean, the tone, I'm pretty like the tone that he'll bring to a Star Wars movie will be interesting. So we'll see. And I don't know. I can't remember if I think this Star Wars movie, I believe, is a continuation, right?
Yeah,
We'll
I
see, man.
think
Star Wars
so.
has been taking a hit recently, man. Star Wars has been taking a hit.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Definitely a difficult one. Definitely a
Yeah.
difficult one. I can't think
Um,
of like what would it be like. I can't think of what it'd be like. Definitely.
yeah, I mean, I'm reading real quick. It just says something about here. It's meant to be a standalone movie. So maybe it is separate to all of it. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but the Sith, let's see, it's unclear whether Levy's project is set. Star Wars stories have run the gamut of hundreds of years, detailing the ongoing of the Galactic Republic turned dictatorship turned rebellion. It's also unclear if it concerns Jedi's and their enemies, the Sith. It is, however, to be unconnected to the so-called Skywalker saga. Story
Okay.
centers on well-established and beloved characters like Luke Skywalker and his father Anakin. So it could be a separate thing again, which is risky with Star Wars because I don't know. Dependent. I mean, look, actors, actresses. It doesn't matter who you get. It's a
Yeah.
sensitive one, man. Star Wars is just the show. They've been making tons of shows. The only one that's really, really hit for me personally is obviously Mandalorian. Some of the other ones were good. Some of them were not so great. So I don't, we'll wait and see, I guess.
No, definitely. I think it's a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. It's not going to be an easy one. I think that in itself is so hard to kind of, as you said, Star Wars is in a bit of a mess right now. Some have been good, some have been really bad. So it's like how do you balance something like that out? Yeah.
Yeah,
So it'd be
yeah.
interesting.
We'll wait and
I think
see.
he's going to do great, bro. And Shaun Levy's an amazing director as well, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's always opportunity for like a rebirth. You know what I mean? You can't count it out until
Yeah.
you watch it, right? So let's wait and see what we get out there.
Exactly. We could only wait and see what they do, bro. Definitely.
All right, well, talk about reboots. Resident Evil, Zach Kreger to tackle Resident Evil reboot, igniting bidding war exchange. So studios are fighting for a package that will see the Barbarian filmmaker write and direct a new movie based on the horror video game Resident Evil. So there's been listen, I can't remember how many movies there are. I think I've seen one. And then I gave up on those movies, to be honest with you. Not really my cup of tea. I do remember the video games, and I'll never forget the first Resident Evil game. It was like the scariest game ever on PS1. I'll never
Yeah,
forget
yeah,
playing
yeah.
that. Super scary. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a tough one or not, man. I mean, those movies that they made, like I said, I never watched them, so I can't criticize them. I don't know. I don't think they hit, in my opinion. They weren't enough to make me wanna watch them. But there are a couple studios that's trying to get this though.
Really?
You got
Let's
Netflix, Warner Brothers. There's a couple of them fighting for it. So we'll wait and see, I guess.
Yes. All right, sorry, bro. I need some water. Uh, we'll have to wait and see, as you said, bro. We'll have to wait and see, man.
Wait and see. All right. All right. What about this one? Lanterns, HBO's DC Studio series cast Ulrich Thomsen as Sinestro.
I'm trying to remember what he's been in so far, but
Well, let me
it'd be interesting trying to
give a
remember.
quick Google. 1 second. I immediately lost it. 1 second. Let me think. But what do you think about? Let me just bring it up. The Lantern series. I mean, we got a little bit of character in the Superman trailer. All right. So Mr. Ulrich has been in films that I'm not familiar with, to be honest with you. I think of one of them. Well, let me just read a couple out and see if you're familiar with it. You got in 2021, The Marco Effect, Celebration, which is 1998, Adam's Apple, 2005, Face to Face, 2019, The Commune, 2016, The
Oh,
Thing,
so
2011.
okay.
2011, that one I'm familiar with. Hitman, he was in Hitman 2007.
Okay.
He's got a catalog of movie, The International, 2009, Season Witch, Night Watch.
All right, so
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
been in
look,
quite a lot.
I mean, yes, it's definitely got a catalog of movies. Just, I guess I'm just not familiar with it, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
or him too much. But I mean, that doesn't mean it's going to be a bad thing, right? We don't know.
No, exactly.
Exactly. So it's not that because we don't know the actor or not familiar with that. Because and actually, you don't need someone famous to make a good character. You know what I'm trying to say? So anyway, they're definitely popping up this Lantern series. They're not taking it light just because it's a TV series. I think DC Studios has shown with the Penguin, that we're taking our TV series as serious as
Yeah,
movies. You know what I'm trying to say?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
we'll wait and see. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be all interconnected. That's what James wants, so that the gaming and the movies and the TVs and the animation all kind of link. So it's good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see, man, because Creature Commandos was awesome and that was animation. We'll see what happens with this Lanterns. I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully we get a decent Green Lantern live action because, let's not speak of the other. All right, cool. Just some quick news to go through. Cobra Kai season 3, part 3 premieres on February 13th, which is in about 2 weeks. It looks like, I don't know if you saw the little teaser thing that they brought out recently. They're coming back to the valley. I wonder how they handle the madness of what happened at the end of part
I
2.
know.
Someone getting killed. Like, does Kreese go down for murder or what? Anyway, somehow this world tournament in Barcelona is all the way coming back to Hill Valley,
Okay.
which seems to be the source of karate in this world, in this universe.
In this
So we'll
universe.
see. Yeah, we'll see what happens there, man. Hey, I'm looking forward to it, and I have to be honest with you. My opinion, I'm actually looking forward for it to end. In my
Yeah.
opinion, I just don't think like the nostalgia can carry on too much. I'm sure they could do it, but just the nostalgia and the cheesiness can't carry on too much. Let's move on
It's going to
to
be tough.
yeah, finish it off. Let's move on to the new Karate Kid Legends. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that after that.
Same here, bro. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it and how. I don't, as you said, I don't think it's going to link up, but the excitement to that movie is very, very big, and that's this year as well. So, one of my
Definitely.
anticipated movies this year, definitely.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I think Karate Kid and just bringing Jackie back. It's Jackie Chan, isn't it? As you said, as a
Exactly.
fan, anything Jackie Chan you're in, and it's gonna be
Exactly.
awesome. All right, cool. Eddie Murphy offers a intimate look at Eddie Murphy's story career in a documentary called Eddie on Netflix coming out 2025. So this should be interesting. If you're an Eddie Murphy fan, if you're a fan of his comedy, especially Delirious and Raw, we've spoken about some of his previous amazing movies like Golden Child, Beverly Hills Cop. I'm looking forward to seeing because this is looking to go into an in-depth vision of his life and whatnot. And as a fan of Eddie Murphy, I'll be interested to see that,
Same here.
especially if they touch on any of the stories that Charlie Murphy spoke about, especially if they rest in peace,
Oh
Charlie
yeah,
Murphy.
bro. Charlie
Yeah,
Murphy. They need to bring it back, bro.
yeah. I mean, if they touch on any of that, his inspiration in comedy, I always wish that he came back with one more Netflix special. Or something like that. I wish like they paid. It's not about paying him. Like I wonder, because I know he can bring the sources, especially with how the world is today. If he was just to like express himself as he did in War and Delirious, I mean, I'm sure he would absolutely smash it.
No, exactly.
But Eddie Murphy documentary, man, it'd be good to get a bit of background. I mean, I swear the guy's got like 50 kids or something like that. Isn't he just like bare kids and stuff like that?
He's got a good amount. He's got a good amount. He's been keeping busy, definitely. Uh,
Yeah. All right. I wanted to give a quick review on the game Black Myth Wukong, which came out
yes.
last year. And it came out, I played it in the UK, right?
Yep.
And now I just bought it to play it properly here. So this game came out and it's been in development for I think like 5 years, right? And it's by like I feels like this. Let me check if I can find the name, but it was like this like small little gaming company. What are they called? Developers here. Developers, Game Science. Now I think they're more specialized in like mobile gaming or whatnot. But they
Yeah.
spent their ultimate time on this game. It was like no rush, right? And this game is fantastic. Like Ash told me to play it because it's super hard, and obviously I get crazy with
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
and she's like, bro, play it before you buy it, before you break the PlayStation and shit. But the game, bro, it is hard. But the point of the
Yeah.
game is this game, bro, is about obviously Wukong, the monkey god, and
Yeah.
whatnot. This character influenced like Goku and characters like that, right? And it's just a story about him. But the gameplay is absolutely fantastic, man. And the character design, because this game is very unusual to other games. It's just all bosses. It's literally a game full of bosses. Like, yes, you have little enemies that you fight, but you know, normal platform, normal like structure of a video game is you go through a level, you fight little bad guys, and then you fight an end boss. This game is just full of bosses. I think it's got like 300 bosses in the game or something like that, or maybe over 100 or something bosses. But like, there's small characters in there to build up your character. His stats and experience point, which is, you've seen in the group chat, I'm always like, I'm farming. That's me building up my character. And that's the way you get better at the game, or make the bosses easier. You spend hours on it, right? The more you spend on it, the more better your character's going to be, the more you can get through these bosses, right? But what I'm impressed with, man, you got that many bosses, and the character design behind some of the bosses are absolutely fantastic, bro. It's like a wild, great imagination in this imaginary game, bro. Or in this imaginary world. It's absolutely fantastic. And the gameplay, the movement, the graphics, everything is just fantastic. You know, Ash bought a new TV, an LG TV, and just seeing it on that, it's absolutely fantastic. His movements with the stick, some of the stances that he takes with the sticks, absolutely fantastic, bro. And just little things of dodging.
I've seen some of the scenes.
Yeah, man, of manipulating characters, like bringing it. It's such a fun experience that they put together with this game, and they took their time, you know, and that's what, you know, there was this whole, you know, when online gaming came out, there's this whole like thing, like, you know, these standalone games might not get the same sort of reaction, but you know what, these standalone games, Black Myth, Wukong, you know, God of War, but there's such a massive market for these places, and these games are proving that there is a massive market for these games, man. So, bro, enjoying it. I'm playing it. I probably review it every week, or, you know, as I get through the game, I'll probably review it more. But I wanted to give that game a shout out as well.
No, that's cool.
It's such an awesome game, fun game, very fun game. All right, let's move into some movies that we've watched, and finish off with stuff that we've watched. So I watched that movie on the plane journey back. I watched that Clint Eastwood movie, Juror 2. It's got Nicholas Hoult, who's going to be our new Lex Luthor, Zoe Dutch. It's got Gabriel Bosso, Tony Collette. It's got Clint Eastwood's daughter in it, Francisca Eastwood. I should assume as her daughter, because he said her name's Eastwood. I'm assuming so. This came out 2024. So I was recommended this. I didn't know about it. I was recommended by a friend. And Clint Eastwood, man, he's amazing at what he does, right? As a director, he's fantastic. This movie there's a lot of dialogue obviously behind it, but there's this suspense of, have you seen it?
No. I've heard good things about it. It's one of my list to watch.
So it's basically about Nicholas Holt's character, who he's been called for jury, what do you call it, man? To be on the jury, basically. And then it's in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling it. He discovers it's about a murder case, and he discovers that he was involved in this murder case, right? I don't want to go too much into it, but basically, he had a situation before when this murder happened. He realized, he discovered he was a part of the murder. So I don't want to spoil it, but it's in the trailer anyway. And it's a very interesting story about his conscience, his guilt, and almost doing the right thing, because an innocent man's being tried here for murder that he knows that he didn't commit.
Yeah.
But he knows he's involved. And just being, I don't know what the word is, but being courageous about thinking about someone else, to kind of confessing, but also protecting yourself, because he's just about to have a family, kid. You know what I mean? And
got a great cast. Kiefer Sutherland's in it. Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland, yes, I didn't mention him. Great cast, him in it. So it's an interesting battle with himself, man. And you're going through the movie, you're kind of like, why are you exposing yourself like that you were involved, but then not, if that makes sense, like investigating more. I think what he was trying to do, I'm spoiling it now, but it's very interesting the way to take it. He's trying to not do the wrong thing and trying to not do the wrong thing and convict someone who is innocent, but also not trying to expose that you're in it. But the way you do that is it's nerve-wracking. Like you know what is good about it? You can see that his heart is pumping when he realizes, oh shit, I'm involved in this. And every scene they talk about, every when they're defending the case or they're trying to accuse the guy of murder, the lawyers and whatnot, you could just see him panicking, that guilt in you. You can see, that feeling in your chest. You can see it in his face that he's got this fucking guilt in his chest that is like, shit, we're going to convict the wrong guy here. I know why, because of me. It's actually really good. Like, Clint Eastwood's got a way of telling the story.
Very good, very good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch that as soon as I get some time, definitely.
All right, I watched your Cordially Invited with Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell. Just came out on Amazon. Something's different with comedy movies these days, man. So talking about what we were speaking about earlier and just being a bit critical and stuff like that, comedy movies are different, man. Like I watch it because of Will Ferrell. I mean, if he does a comedy movie, of course you want to watch it, right? I mean, Step Brothers, we're talking about, Wedding Crashers is in that. We're talking about I mean, he's amazing at comedy. But these days, something, and the days of comedy where dialogue, like Seth Rogen and his boys, man, they had a new era of comedy where the dialogue was freaking hilarious.
Amazing,
right?
amazing.
Jim Carrey had his era where he would express his comedy in his acting and whatnot, very expressive and kind of silly in a way, but very expressive. But these days, comedy is like, I feel like they're forced now. Like they're so like this movie for me, like I'm sorry to say it, but it felt like it hit the DEI boxes first, right? Because he randomly had an Indian daughter, and at least if your wife was Indian, then maybe you should have picked a mixed race actress. So it just looked like she's Indian, man. Like she's not your daughter, unless that you should have said that she was your stepdaughter or something like that, right? So it just kind of get awkward. But the acting behind some of the comedy, not Will Ferrell, he's an expert in comedy, right? So he's perfect, right? But I'm sorry, this is my opinion. The rest of the actors, it just like the comedy is so forced and the dialogue is so random and forced. It's not funny. It's kind of like forced comedy.
It wasn't natural. It's not improv natural. When they can bounce off each other.
That's the word you said, yes.
When you can kind of bounce off each other and have I mean, that's why Seth Rogen and all of them work really good, because they can bounce off each other really well. And even if it's scripted, like, John Cena in Peacemaker, when that's scripted, bro. James Gunn wrote that. John Cena acted that. So when you could do stuff like that, improv's great because you're going to have some, but there are some moments when you bounce back off each other and you're like, that can't be scripted. Even like, I did an interview with Adam. It was about the movie in the summer. And the
Shake
kids.
Shack.
Shake Shack, yes. Like, the banter they have between each other? That's scripted, written to a T, bros. Do not deviate from those words. Make sure you act it out just like that. That is great, bro. So I think the writing could be a bit bad in this movie.
That's
but
probably what
as you said, the acting as well.
That's exactly. I think you're right. If you got someone who can script it to the T, and that person is like maybe coming from a comedy background or something, and you got actors that can perform it, great. If you got the Seth Rogen and his boys, Jonah Hill and them boys, right? Or even Tropic Thunder, which I think is one of my favorite comedy movies. Like them guys Ben Stiller's a comedian, Jack Black is. Robert Downey Jr. is there, but he's such a great actor. I think he could just fall into that, into the improv or whatnot.
In that category,
this one, like the acting, the direction of the acting, it's just silly. And I'm noticing these movies these days, like they're silly, and the dialogue just don't make sense, and it's supposed to be funny, but it just doesn't hit. But there's always one actor who's just like, I don't know, it's just this weird person, right? So I don't know. Listen. It's exactly what it is. It's an Amazon Prime movie. It's not a cinema movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what it is. It's Reese Witherspoon's good to see her back. Will Ferrell, everything with him is always great. He's great. He's a comedian. You can plainly tell that Will Ferrell comes from a comedian background and he understands comedy versus the rest of the people who it's just like silly acting and silly facial features and stuff.
Yeah.
No offense to them. No offense. This is just my opinion. I mean, the next movie I watched kind of touches on that a little bit as well, like Back in Action with Cameron Diaz, who's back, right, and Jamie Foxx. Right?
Yes, I saw
She kind
that.
of retired, right, and I think Jamie Foxx had something to do with her coming back. Now this movie,
Yeah. That's right.
again, as you kind of said it before, it's like a DVD movie or back, you know, straight to TV movie. That's what these Netflix and streaming movies are now, right?
Yeah.
And it was decent. It was okay, you know, standard spy parent movie, blah blah blah, all this sort of stuff. Again, the comedic value to this movie. And Jamie Foxx, he's a comedian, so he's great, right, as a comedian or whatnot. But it was like the cheesiness of like some of the scenes. It was just like it's I don't know. It's just it doesn't hit for me. And there's this one character. You saw the movie, right? So the Cameron Diaz's mother had this boyfriend, just random silly dialogue, silly acting character. Like sometimes I'm like, I feel like every movie has this one random dumb person in it to do to
But they have to, bro.
and
That's
do
part of the
silly
script
things.
making. That it's got to have somebody that throws it off a little bit.
But that
And
I don't know, man. To me, it doesn't.
it ruins the
like
movie for
you
me.
shouldn't be in the movie. There's no reason for you to be in the movie, in my opinion. Again, my opinion. I just don't see no reason for that person to be in the movie. And you know, Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx awesome. You know, get standard Netflix movie and whatnot. You know, it is predictable. The action was okay. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's just the performances of them guys, you know what I mean? Which was fun to watch. Again, as a fan of Jamie Foxx, and like I said, I'm a little bit a fan of Cameron Diaz for her to come back and whatnot. I was like, let's watch a movie. There's nothing else to watch. Let's watch it. So that was something else I watched. But you know, DVD movie or Netflix movie.
No, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Excuse me.
You watch Creature Commandos. What was your thoughts
Fucking
after
wicked.
finally watching it?
Fucking wicked. I loved it. Story again a bit convoluted, but listen, man, this is a comic book. This is what comic books are about. Convoluted, crazy, big, and amazing. Listen, bro, backstories amazing. He made me like each and every one of those characters, bro. He gave heart to each and every one of those characters. For when it came to the end and all the madness started kicking off, you're like, oh my god, like what's going on? Like back and forth, and the guy's he's done great with that. That was a good anime, and because it felt short, I was like, oh man, I wanted more. I genuinely wanted more. Creature Commandos, guys, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. These are like really characters that really are not mainstream characters. What James Gunn did with this is turn them into almost like the new Suicide Squad. Even though they're their own Creature Commandos thing, he put them in the limelight, which I think is absolutely great. I think these characters are compelling. He gave them meaning to each of the characters. I mean, fucking Weasel. Weasel's backstory, bro.
Yes,
He's just they're misunderstood characters, and I think that's what James does really well. Is that we think everybody's and yes, most of the time we are villainous and we are crazy and we get put into categories. Like even us, we're in categories, bro. In real life, we are in a category, bro. You know, which is crazy. And this is what he's done great with these characters. And wrong place, wrong time, wrong situation can change
looking a
as a
certain
person.
way.
Looking a certain way, yeah. So there
Being
you go.
judged based on the way you look. And I know there's creatures, and I'm pretty sure if we saw a creature, we'll be freaking out just because of the
exactly
envisionment of what creatures are and how, you know, they're monsters and whatnot. But this movie, this show is showing that, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, really. You know, the Weasel was a perfect example because you just always, especially in the first Suicide Squad, he's known for killing the children. You see in this one, he was trying to save them. Crazy. Yep. Beautiful. I told you.
Very good, bro.
Prioritize it over What If, right? I mean, you saw a bit of What If. I mean, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, so I've seen the first 3 episodes, and I need to try and find them to watch them somewhere. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I just feel like they should have given us. Like, it's amazing that they try and link it up to everything, but now it's just. I feel like it's lost it a little bit, bro. It's lost that A factor to it, like where it's like, oh wow, this is amazing, it's all linked up. But then it's like, no, give me some different stories, man.
Yeah.
Give me some
Yeah.
different characters. What if Wolverine was a vampire? Just introduce him in there. I heard there's Storm in this, but I haven't been able to get to that point to watch it. And to be honest, I've lost the buzz for it, bro. And it's a shame because I love this stuff. And like spending the day with Marvel yesterday, you're like, oh, I'm moist. But then
Yeah.
like there's no care in the project no more. So if people are just spitting out garbage, it's like it's second rated stuff, bro.
I don't think it's garbage, but I think that it's just a path that because when you get to the end, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit for you. Again, comments come out, it's like this is some DEI shit. Because bro, all the superheroes in the world, or all the supers we grew up with from the comic books, and even to say in the recent MCU time, you landed on 4 female characters, 2 of them being brand new, and 2 of them is Captain Carter and Storm, who have to
Yeah.
save the whole universe. And it's kind of like cool, like especially what Marvel's been going through the whole couple of years and the criticism they've been getting on forcing that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but forcing it in the last 2-3 years. It's like, oh, you ended with that still. Like, why didn't you change it? And I think What If is a perfect opportunity to just do Elseworld story. Like, What If, literally what it is, and just make each episode like different and just make it exciting. Like you said, if Wolverine was
Exactly.
vampire, if Deadpool and Spider-Man met or something, like, like
You make it
none of the
exciting. I think
characters who we would love, just I'm using the recent MCU, forget the comics and whatnot for a second. None of the characters who we love, you gave a story about. Especially like I Hope, cool. I love that story. That was great. Falcon and Winter Soldier and so okay, cool. But some of the other ones, like I don't really care about these
yeah,
characters.
exactly. Exactly.
So I think it's a lost opportunity with that one. I think just if you're making more what ifs, forget about this universe stuff. Go into just making what ifs. Give us this elseworld fun stories, man. Anything else you
No,
watched?
exactly. No, bro, that's it. I've got, I've got like, there's nothing happening next week. I haven't seen anything yet. Uh, but yeah, I think I'm gonna just, as I said, I think slow down a little bit, have more time. I think, which is a great thing. I haven't gone to all of the screenings, so I'll do all the major ones. And if I could do it from home, I'll do it from home. Uh, and see what happens from there, man. Because I feel like I don't want to go waste time on something that I could have enjoyed from the comfort of my home and being with the family. So
Well, that's what it is. It's being with the family now. We're like we've spoken about this before. We're old now. Now we're getting these opportunities. We're in an older state now where we got more responsibilities,
I think
wife,
last year I run
kids.
myself to the ground, bro. Last year and the year before, we went to every single one we could go to. But now it's like, oh my God, like I want to go to the ones that are gonna be worth it for us. You know what I mean? Like as a fan, I'm not a critic. I'm not a critic as a fan. But yeah, that's about it, bro. For me, that's about it.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, that's all the news. That's everything we've watched. I mean, outside of that, just want to quickly touch on, the ceasefire happening in Palestine, which is great, but that doesn't mean
Yeah,
that the occupying force, I'm going straight into it, sorry, the
yeah, yeah.
occupying force is not still committing what you call it, international crimes, and stuff like that. They're still, I mean, listen, forget them for a second. The resilience of the Palestinian people, man, for them coming back to their homes, their land, it just goes to showing that you can never take their will. Like, seriously, can't take their will. It's heartbreaking to see that they come back to nothing, but it's amazing to see that the will is still there. They're not going nowhere. Now's the time to donate, guys. Now's the time they're going to need stuff.
Yes,
I've seen some
please,
amazing
guys, do
stuff
whatever you
like,
can.
yeah, other countries like Malaysia saying that they're looking to help them rebuild schools, mosques, hospitals, and stuff like that. I hope other world leaders, in the region and other regions or whatnot, just help as much as possible because that's where they're gonna get it from.
Exactly.
But now the fight is over because it's the fight for their freedom, which is what's necessary. I mean, look, Donald Trump, okay, take credit for the ceasefire and whatnot, but he's out there talking about ethnically cleansing Gaza. He's saying it like he wants Jordan and Egypt to take it. Them countries in response and said, no, Palestine is for the Palestinian people. That's their land. And he recently came out and doubled down on it and said, no, we do a lot for them. So they're gonna have to take some people. Like, listen, they pay, the US basically pays Egypt and Jordan to not attack or have war with Israel. They literally pay them for it. right? So he's going to try and leverage that against them. So you need to take him. Literally talking about ethnically cleansing the Palestinian people. So, okay, you know what? The main important thing I have to highlight, the bloodshed has to stop. And it mainly did, but Israel's still violating all ceasefire.
Yeah.
All of it, with Lebanon, with them, and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, the goal is that they're all working together to ethnically cleanse Gaza. You know, it's absolutely horrible. And, you know, if you're looking at the hostage exchanges, man, if you're looking at, you know, end of the day, man, the Zionists must be this. And I'm glad that, listen, that the social media is still out there showing it, because the hostages that they kept on saying that they've been tortured and everything by Hamas, they're coming out healthy with fucking goodie bags and shit like that, speaking on messages, like speaking Arabic or whatever, and say salam alaikum. They look happy, right? That like nothing's happened to them at all, in a bad way. I'm not saying being a hostage is a good thing or whatnot, but they don't look like they've been tortured. There's one girl in there that said that, you know, I thought I was gonna get raped. They didn't touch me. Like, so all these bullshit propaganda that they're getting raped is what, again, every accusation Israel makes is a confession. Because in the Palestinians, the hostages that they got there in from the IDF, they're raping them, man. They're torturing them. They come out like shriveled and whatnot.
Yeah,
Clearly,
it's fucked, bro.
this is
It's
everyone
fucked.
seeing.
It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. And that shit has broken me. I think last year that shit broke me. But the fact that, anyway, listen, like, for as long as I can, I will try and help raise as much as money as I can for the Palestinian people. Yeah, and I will donate as well as I have been the past couple of months, even if it's a little bit, whatever we can do. Shout out to everybody who's donated recently. But yeah, we can only do the best we can. Listen, no matter what, we're going to be in this fight for a long time. That state needs to have a free state. Fuck that government. That's all I can say. Fuck all those right-wing motherfuckers. That's all I can say.
Fuck Zionism.
Fuck Zionism. I can say that.
But again, I just saw another video again, and I'm just putting it out there again. It's got nothing to do with the religion of Judaism. Like,
no, exactly.
Real
exactly
Jews,
that.
brothers and sisters are against Zionism. Just putting that out there again.
Exactly. So, yeah, guys, donate. Go to my Instagram page. You'll see it on there. You'll see it on the Brothers Geek Out podcast as well. So, thank you so much, as already everybody who has done it so far. All right.
Yeah. Last thing, I'm reading a book called Cobalt Red by Sadif Kaur. Well, it's about Congo. Again, Free Congo. It's crazy what's happening. The resources, the cobalt minerals and the minerals they've always had on the land of Congo, just being exploited, man. I mean, they're saying from this book, from what he's reading, when King Leopold II, that violent son of a bitch, like fucking, he's another fucking.
He's a fucker that they don't speak about in the history books, bro.
Yeah,
he's another fucker.
There's an estimate of like when he colonized or tried to colonize Congo, killed like 15 to 20 million. And basically, this book is saying that nothing's really changed in regards to the slave labor that from his time when he was controlling it to now, right? And all these tech billionaires.
No, bro, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, all these tech billionaires and everything. Cobalt is the mineral that they need to for these lithium batteries for your phones, smartphones, laptops, and cars, electric cars, right? So Elon Musk and all these fucking people, it's literally slave labor. They're literally slaves to this day. And there was a politician, I think back in the 60s, that tried to get independence of Congo and basically saying, we are going to use our minerals and better this country, because that country should be the most futuristic country because of all the minerals that it's got. But
100%, bro. That should be fucking Wakanda, bro.
They exploit the shit out of it, and then that politician, do you know what happened when he tried to get a liberate for a free Congo? Guess what happened to him? You can guess.
Oh, my guy got shit. He got killed.
He got killed. Exactly.
Listen, so bro, that is what Wakanda is based on, bro. That's what it would have been. Congo would have been the next Wakanda, bro, because of the minerals and how they would have looked after the resources. But as we know, with all this colonialism shit, is let's steal the shit and take control over that area.
So these Western countries, they obviously demonized him, and then they put a hit out, and then they killed him, and then they propped up a dictator under their wing who's getting paid and then controls that and allows
Exactly, bro.
what happened now.
Exactly.
It's fucked up. I just started. I heard about the Cobra Mine, but I'm actually listening to the book now. Like, man, the Congolese people, again, that country needs freedom, man. That country needs freedom and to be what it should be, which is one of the most richest countries in the world. The whole of Africa needs, but Africa doesn't. Man, those people have been just exploited forever, man, and we're still in that shit. All these rich billionaire
which is fucked, bro. Which is
they're slave owners. I don't give a shit. They're like slave owners because the fact that they're allowing it to happen, fuck them, man. Hey, listen, easy for me to say I've got a fucking laptop and a phone here and with lithium batteries and shit. So I'm a part of the problem. We're all a part of the problem.
No, that's what we're all part of the problem. That's the thing. And that's why
putting a message out there, people need to, do you know what it is? It's like Palestine. Like, a lot of people didn't know. I was a victim of that too. It's about putting a message out there. People need to know. The more you can do, the more, boycotting and shit can happen to help. You know what I mean? Like, that shit it needs to be exposed more. So that's another thing about Congo. People need to expose it more, what's happening there, so there could be movements against it, man. There needs to be a liberation there too.
No, 100%, 100%. Listen, man, there's so much to it, but educate, guys, educate, and ask questions. It's so important to ask questions. Free Congo, free Palestine, Syria, Yemen. There's so much, man. There's so much to it.
Donate, guys. Donate. Now's the time
donate.
to donate. I mean, always is the time to donate. Just do something, guys, please. Donate, spread the word, and boycott as much as possible. Always wanted to touch on this, man. I had a friend of mine who recently commented. He's the boxer guy I told you about. And he was like, bro, do you ever get controversial on your podcast? I'm like, bro, I mean, obviously he doesn't listen to it fully, but I'm like, if you listen to it, yes, we do. And it's not about controversial, it's just expressing our thoughts. Like, there's so much things going on in the world, but these are the things that we talk about, make us feel a certain way. And I just feel like we're obligated to make speak about it. I just wouldn't feel right not saying what I know. I'm trying to say, especially using this platform, not that we get hundreds of thousands of views or whatnot, but just my conscience won't feel good if I don't express it on my socials, if I don't express it on this podcast. And it comes with consequences. Like we were shadow banned for 6 months, at least 6 months. Things have grown now, which is great. I've lost loads of followers on Instagram because people don't want to see it. But end of the day, it's my opinion, and people might say I have controversial views and whatnot. When human lives are at risk, or when I say risk, when human lives are getting slaughtered, be it from the Palestinian people, be it slave labor in Congo and children dying because they're in cobalt mines, stuff like that, then yes, I have an opinion about it. Red and blue, freaking labor and conservative, I don't really give a shit about that, to be honest with you. I don't really have an opinion too much because I'm not educated as much. But when it's human lives that are being exploited and children being murdered, then yes, I have a view about that. Simple as that. Anyway, donate, guys. Donate.
Yes, donate. All right, cool. Bro, I got to run and pick up the little one.
Take us out, man.
Yes, man. All right, guys, massive thank you. Father duties, guys. But as always, massive thank you for all the love on the podcast, man. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Excuse me. Make sure you follow us on all our social channels. But really and truly, show us some love on here, guys. There's like 70% of you, not 70.
Keep changing that number. What are we on now?
It goes up and down. That's the thing, though, isn't it? So I think there's 70% of you that are not subscribed to the channel that keep coming on and watching our content, but don't press the subscribe button. So what I'm going to do, forget about our socials. This is all about YouTube right now. YouTube, Spotify, and Amazon. Make sure you click subscribe, drop us a review, drop us a comment. Let us know your thoughts on what you think about the podcast. And as always, we're always grateful for you guys passing by. But other than that, we'll catch you guys up soon. I love. Peace.